All right, guys. So yesterday I ended up going out and using my can. I changed a few things on the gas system on the BCG, and came to find out that regularly, just on the regular like setting, that's what ended up gassing it properly. When I was firing, I found that my rounds were going around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and that's perfect. Not my rounds, my brass, right? So as my brass was going 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, which would be this direction for me, for you, that way, right? So when I'm seeing that, I know that my gas is being expelled properly, right? So the gas system's working back and forth, boom, boom, boom. It's going, and it was a phenomenal day. I was happy. My can's sitting right here. So what I wanted to do is I'm gonna go butt to tip on this rifle, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I have on it. To be honest with you, sorry, I built this quite some time ago, so I don't remember every single detail. So I'm just gonna tell you the main key components that are gonna get your rifle to work the same way mine does, and then go from there. But basically, I'll show you my rifle, and this, okay? Just so you know, there's no rounds in here whatsoever. I'm just making sure that it has the full robust profile. But from what you see here, you have a dead air S suppressor, all right? Then you have my Optic, which is mounted with, this has a bootleg rail system, and this Optic is a Sage, so it's not an actual, reticle Optic. This actually shows me my distances on this. This is actually I absolutely love this red dot, or this sight, because it's not a normal red dot. It's holographic, but it's not your normal. If I can, I will try to show it. I'll turn it on, try to show what the Sage looks like, and go from there. But so I have my co-witnesses on here would be my, I think Magpul. Yeah, they're Magpul flip-up sights. Right here, again, a Fiachi magnification scope that I set it's max, so it's at 5. Max is at 5 instead of like 8 or 6 or something like that, which is pretty much all I need, honestly. The BCG inside here is a bootleg as well. So I got a bootleg rail system, bootleg BCG, and for those who don't know what BCG means, it's bolt carrier group. The charging handle is a Radian Raptor SD. So here, you know what? Let me just take this out and let me see if I can just show you from here what the Radian looks like. You can see right in here it has gas ports, right? So right in there you have a few gas ports, which makes it easier for the gas to expel than it would be all of it pretty much up front. So it expels pretty much everywhere, and I get almost no gas blowback in my face, which is perfect. So when I'm firing, a lot less likely for me to fire and then I get a bunch of gas in my face and it's really hard for me to see. This, I don't know what it does, man, but it works very well for it compared to other charging handles that I've had. And this thing is, it's rocking, not gonna lie. So, I have then a Magpul, oh, I can't believe I'm forgetting what this name is right now. Basically, it's a bolt release. Having a brain fart right now. But this thing is honestly awesome. So what happens is when it's locked back like that, right? Magazine in it or not. When the mag is in, what I do is the moment and then I can go, right? So you see my weapon is off safe and it's just all one free motion. And then I hit it and it just slides forward. One day I'll remember the name, but whatever, it is what it is. I just forget right now. Let me see, this is Emissary. This is an Emissary foregrip. This thing is awesome. I do not like normal foregrips. I think they take up too much real estate. So the way I've set up my weapon is I C-clamp my weapon. So I grab this way. As you can see, my left arm is doing pretty much most of the work. My right arm, all right, is kind of relaxed and ready to go. So, okay, so again, force of habit, always check. But pulling that weapon tight, me not having to pull so tight on this, leaves my hand really nice and loose so I can take very quick shots, right? So very, very fast shots. And then, let me see, what else do I have? I have, you know, little cool guy stuff, the Punisher logo, which I was going to take off. And then somebody said you should take it off, so I said fuck them. And then I ended up having to keep it on. I have my favorite Psalm 1441, right on here. It's on both sides, so it's just, you know, cool guy stuff. It's really does absolutely nothing for you. My pin fasteners, I forget what company I got, but make sure you guys get these, because what ends up happening is after a while, your pins will start to rattle. If you shoot as much as I do, they start to rattle out, and your trigger assembly will inevitably come out. Speaking of the trigger assembly, I think you can see a GA. So that right there, if you see on the trigger, is a Geisley trigger. So this is, it's pretty much a race trigger. I cannot tell you how awesome this trigger is. I usually use just mil-spec triggers, like stuff like that. And it's, you know, a few pounds lighter than what I normally would have on a mil-spec trigger. So that is, it goes a long way. I have on most of my rifles, I have a Geisley on there. And in the back, you got an SB Tactical brace, which, to be honest with you, I brought this to show you what will go on when the world turns to shit and nobody cares about legality. But for right now, this sadly cannot go on. This goes on for when, you know, so you keep the ATF Ghostbusters away. But, you know, honestly, I ain't even too mad at the ATF right now either, because they sent me my can. So much love, sort of, kind of, not really, but cool. Anyway, let me see what else. And then I got the Crimson Trace cheap light. This light has served me so well, I can't see me taking it off, right? So this thing is pretty awesome. It does a really good job. At nighttime, I really don't see me using a whole lot of light. This thing is super bright when the lights are off, super bright. So what I've ended up doing was keeping it on, because you know what, it takes up not much real estate. It's a really good weapon. I've shot it in the rain. I've shot it in, you know, all types of weather, cold, and it doesn't fail. It doesn't fail. So, you know, people might talk shit on the Crimson Trace stuff. I wouldn't use anything else other than this light from Crimson Trace. But, you know, for what it does for me, man, this thing has gone above and beyond. So it earned its right to be on here. Now let me see if I can show you guys the Sage. Let me turn it up to a pretty high setting. And this is me see if you can see. I can't actually see much in here. So let me see if I can see it here. There it is. So now you see the Sage, and that's what the Sage actually looks like. So what the Sage does is it shows you your shot placement from certain degrees and how far it might be. So I use that instead of a normal red dot because I can't wait to get a new setup. So this thing is a pain in the ass. You have to turn it off a certain way. Get off. Damn. Embarrassing me in front of my friends. But this thing is honestly, to me, the better optic. A lot of people like the circle and whatnot, and the reticle is great, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy that for the fact that the moment I pull and I see it, knowing that's up there, if I'm at 500 yards, I literally pick up a little bit or I don't, and this will tell me whether I'm hitting or not. This will tell me what I'm doing correctly or not, and that to me is the whole fight. That's the battle, right? So what I am going to do is I'm going to eventually get rid of this and put it on one of my cheaper but more budget builds. But this rifle I built with a friend of mine, and we put every badass thing you could possibly put into this thing. If this were to go on a wall and sell for a certain amount of money, it would probably go for at least $2,000 to $3,000. Can not included. Can included would be like $4,000. So, you know, people say all the time, oh, buy a good rifle and you'll save yourself some money. To be honest with you, I saved so much money building this rifle. I ended up building 2 or 3 other rifles because of it. So, you know, what I would suggest for anybody who is a new beginning, shooter, absolutely buy the rifle. Just go and buy it. It is not worth your time and effort to build something like this because you might not even be looking for something like this. But when you do want to get a rifle that is yours and you know it from butt to tip, you know what's on this rifle, you might want to get the lower, build the lower, get the upper, build the upper, and then eventually add the little goodies and stuff later when you know for a fact you have a really good internally built weapon. Also, do not cheap out on your optic. Your optic is your rifle. I don't care what anybody says. People say, put a $150 SIG Romeo on there. Cool, you could do that. And SIG Romeos are not bad optics. I put them on my airsoft rifles, you know what I mean? But this is a legitimate battle rifle, so you need a magnification scope and you need a good optic. If not, what the hell are you doing? Why are you even in this fight? So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I don't know if I said it, but this is a 10.3-inch barrel. Excuse me. If you guys get offended by shit like that, trust me, it's going to be way worse. I'm probably going to snot rocket sometime when I'm out in the field, so get over it. When you see a 10-inch barrel like this is made to be suppressed. 7 inches, I want to suppress it. I want to just see what it does. But to be honest with you, I know that there's a little bit of flashing that happens, a little bit of gas that you can see it at night. So with a 10-inch, this is probably the lowest I would go to put a can on. I'm going to put a can on my 7-inch just because, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't go anything lower than 10 to put a can on, because then you're just, it might not even be rated for that. I'm just doing it and figuring it out. If this ends up getting messed up, that's on me, you know what I mean? But I highly doubt it. This is military grade. This is a Sandman S from, I forget, wow, I can't believe I forget the name. Ghost something or other. I don't freaking know. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name right now. it is what it is. I'm having a brain fart, but so look up Sandman S, and you will end up inevitably seeing this can. So how you take this can off is you unhook and pull off. It's ridiculously easy. You put back on, you twist. All right, you just twist so it stays in place, and then you put it right back on. There should be no wiggle whatsoever. No wiggle whatsoever. And it will stay in place for you. Now, the next weapon I'm going to talk about is its partner. Let me make sure nothing went wrong. Okay, so this is my standard issue Glock 19. No weapon, no rounds in this weapon as well. My concealed carry, though, on the other hand, mag at the ready, and I'm going to press check to show you there is one in there. So, but that's, you know, that's on my person. So, anyway, this is a Glock 19. I got the slide ported and the barrel ported, so that the gases would expel a little faster and gives me a bit of a better shot. The round goes out just a little bit slower than what it would from a barrel that has no ports, but I'm not shooting anything past 100 yards with this thing. I've already done 50 yards with this, and it made some serious headway. So what I got done with it was got the rear sights moved to the front of the Optic. I put a Holosun 407C on here. And then I had Dave Mods do a stippling and Cerakote job. I think he might have forgot this part right here, so I'm going to end up sending it out, back out. Or, to be honest with you, I'm thinking about just putting a magwell on there, and more than likely it's going to cover it up, so I'm not going to care anyway. So, when I get a magwell on here, it'll feel a little bit nicer and a bit grabbier, if you will. This is outfitted with a 19 round mag, 21 round mag. I usually keep only like 19, 20 in there. I don't ever put it up to 20, 21. 19 round mag with a TLR1 weapon mounted light. This is, like I said, pretty much a stock Glock except for what I did to the slide. I am a firm believer in Glocks. I absolutely love Glocks. I have SIGs, sure. I showed you my SIG concealed carry, but I am infatuated and in love with Glocks. I love the way they feel. They look like shit, not gonna lie. They're ugly guns, but I'm not here to shoot a pretty gun and it not work right. I want a gun, no matter what, that will work every single time I fire this weapon. So recently, since I did work to the slide, I ended up having a malfunction. I almost broke the gun, to be honest with you. I would have been highly upset, but ended up just having to take this out and kind of cut down one of the screws, put it right back in, and now I'm having no feed issues whatsoever. What was happening was every time it would slide lock like this, the round would stay down. Something was wrong. So I ended up finding out that it was this screw in here that was a little bit low, and it was interfering with the spring rod. So once I got that out of the way, it went right back to normal, and now I'm happy as ever with my weapon. So this is, again, just a stock Gen 5 Glock 19. And this is what I would legitimately go to war with, because it's just a phenomenally made and designed weapon. I cut these to be this length so that it'll stay into the webbing of my hand, but the rest of this, it's not fat and grab. It's just, you grab it really improperly. I don't care for it. I like this, so what ends up happening is it stays into the webbing, but nothing else, and it's just, it just grabs so beautifully. So these are my two main weapons that pair with each other. This is what I would use. If God forbid, if you see me on the battlefield, this is what I have together with each other. This is what I would be using. And most of my weapons, they actually do the same. They're almost the same exact guns, except for my other weapons are like Glock 17s, Gen 5s, with some more goodies on there, compensators, stuff like that. I have a Glock 19 that has a compensator on it that is just like a Glock 17. I'll do a review on that one after, which literally same gun except for when you do comps and stuff. I'll get into this later when I speak on it. When you do comps and stuff, legitimately what's going to happen is you're messing with the gun. You're messing with it, the way the functionality of the weapon, so you better be careful. I ended up firing that weapon with 115 grain, which this is what that my normal Glock takes, 115 grain. It was not firing anymore. It just stopped. So then what I ended up doing was I added higher grain rounds, so I would put 124 in, and now that thing it shoots like a champ. So be careful what you do and know what you're doing, because if not, you're going to start getting fails and failures here, and it sucks. But you know what? That's part of building. So when you start building stuff and adding stuff and doing things, just know and be aware that that is what can happen, and you're going to have to spend some time, love, and care on your weapons. So this particular rifle took me about 5 years to perfectly get together, and 2 years of ignorance and 3 years of putting this thing together with knowledge that I've obtained from really good operators, really good men, usually police and law enforcement alike, military alike. They've helped me out with this greatly, and I can't thank them enough. Recently, I just met a guy who helped me put on the can and helped me gas this thing properly, which, to be honest with you, he just told me what to do, and I did it, and it got done. So, but still, without that knowledge, I would have had maybe 200 rounds lost until I found out what to do, or I figured out what to do. But, you know, this is what comes with it. Get out there, train, figure yourself a good weapon, and, you know, one day you'll be doing this without fail, and you'll run it, and you'll get so many backup parts that you'll be able to build 3 of these, and eventually, technically, you probably will, because that's what I did. So I built quite a few rifles, and, you know, this is my pride and joy. This is my baby. My next one that I show you, it's just my, God forbid if this ran out or this broke, or, you know, I'm taking fire and something comes at my 3 o'clock and it hits my weapon and makes it go down, I have a backup. So, you know, God forbid, because that would be like seriously worst case scenario. But yeah, so that is my battle rifle. If and when I decide to, I'm going to go night vision on this. I will probably do thermal, and I will no longer have this setup, and I will have a thermal setup, and that will make this a nighttime only weapon. I will zero it in during the day, make sure that it is zeroed perfectly, and then after that I will never use it again except for at nighttime shooting scenarios. So yeah, I will eventually show you guys pretty much all my arsenal, but for right now, this was it, and this is my 10-3, I guess, my personal build, my build. Because again, nobody put this together but me and a friend of mine. So, and he knows who he is. Much love, bro. Thank you. Stay safe out there with what you do. But all right, gotta go. Love you guys. Be safe. Peace. Make sure you get out there and train.